Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on, guys? It's Filthy and I'm back with another video. Today we're looking at the Season 19 Barbarian Starter Guide. Now the season starts on the 22nd of November and the theme for this season is going to be the Eternal Conflict, and we're going to get the Pandemonium buff. This will give us stacks whenever we kill things and it will increase our damage and move speed, and at 1000 stacks we get 100% extra damage and 50% move speed. We also get kill streaks when we kill stuff, so it's going to be a pretty fun season and Barb's going to match the season theme very well. Now also for season 19 out of the Hadrig's bag, we're going to get the Wrath of the Waste set for the Barbarian. I think this is going to be the fastest start for all players. I also think it's going to be the best class and best build probably for casual players. So Barb won fastest start and best in my tier list, and since making those videos Blizzard have announced patch 267A and the Barb will be getting over double juice on the basis of that, with a 150% multiplier on the belt. Now this guide will cover how to spend your challenge rift bag, touch on some skills to get the most out of the season theme whilst leveling, give you a detailed plan at 70 on how to get your 6-piece bonus as soon as possible, and give you an easy build to gear into that will do T16, get primals unlocked and can carry you all the way up past GR 100 very easily. Now this isn't a leveling guide, so if anything that I've just said sounds unfamiliar or you're unsure, I will link a full season 19 leveling guide from Rax. He does really good content, so go check him out anyway, but that's there if you're unfamiliar with any of the bits and bobs that we're going to talk about. Now starting with the challenge rift bag, number one golden rule: when this resets on Monday the 18th of November, do not do it. You need to save it until after you've created your seasonal character on the 22nd of November. Now in terms of the goodies that you get out of it, you can rank your blacksmith up to max level, and that will allow us to do an upgrade in the cube, and we're going to go for one-handed mighty weapons. And in general, one-handed mighty weapons offer really good value because there's 5 of them that carry multipliers, and 2 of the ones that don't actually do again also pair with whirlwind, so they can be saved. Now if you want a detailed explanation as to why we've gone for one-handed mighty weapons, I have done a specific challenge bag guide for all classes, so I'll link that in the description. You can go check the Barb section out. It does carry all the percentages in, why we've gone for what we've gone, and gives you some suggested skills. But in summary, one-handed mighty weapons with your DBs. In terms of your blood charge, you want to roll braces. There's 2 in the loot pool at level 1, braces of destruction that buff seismic slam, and braces of the first men that buff Hota. Now you've got over 85% chance of getting at least one of these when you roll your shards, so obviously it does give really good value. Now if you do have some blood shards left over from rolling braces, I would next go for loot socks. This means that leap can be cast 3 times in 2 seconds. This is fantastic for getting around the map, and it makes it really easy to chain enemies together. And then I'd move on to the Leoric's Crown, because this will give us extra XP whilst we're leveling, and maybe some cooldown at 70 if we want to extract it into the cube. Now if you get a Fjord Cutter on your one-handed mighty weapon, this is worth mentioning because the seismic slam bonus only applies to slowed or chilled enemies. Now leap will give us a slow when we land, so that's fine, so you're going to put that on your bar. Then you're also going to put ground stomp, deafening, crash on, because that also applies to slow. So those 2 things will allow you to deal extra seismic slam damage, and you're going to need them on the bar if you do get a Fjord Cutter. Now also with a Fjord Cutter, it's much more important to get the seismic slam braces, so I probably would blow all my shards into this. Even if I got a braces of the first men, I'd keep rolling for these ones, because obviously the multipliers together will be pretty huge. As I say guys, there's more details in that challenge rift bag video, so if you do want more information, go check that out. Now in terms of skills whilst leveling, because we want to chain enemies together to get the most out of the season theme, leap is a really good skill for mobility. As we talked about, loot socks is something you can get which will help you out. Furious Charge is really good for chaining enemies. This will help you out when you move floors, so when you start a new floor you can Furious Charge quite far into the next one and try and keep your bonus up. Other than that, you're going to want to go for mobility skills, so Sprint Marathon is good, that'll give you extra move speed, as would Ignore Pain Bravado. So you're looking basically to try and make your character as quick as possible to get as many chained enemies together, and that might allow you to play up a higher difficulty than you would do normally because of the extra bonus from the season theme. But in general it'll just mean more damage from the kill streaks and you'll have more fun leveling, so try and make your character as quick as possible is basically what I'm saying. But with that in mind, you're obviously going to build around your multipliers that you get, so Seismic Slam, Hammer of the Ancients, and you could also have a multiplier on Bash or Cleave depending on what you got from your one-handed mighty weapon upgrade. And by far the most important thing when leveling guys is to do the 2-handed weapon trick. So you're going to craft yourself a 2-handed axe from the blacksmith once you've got him ranked up, and you're looking for one that on the secondary has got a CC, so 4.5% chance to blind on hit here, or 1.3% chance to chill on this one. You then take it to the Mystic for re-rolling. You're going to leave the CC on and you're going to pick the other option because there's only 4 in the loot pool for you to roll, and you're just going to roll it until you get a 20 level reduce requirement or above. So there we go, that didn't take too many rolls and we've got a 27 banger. Now the next thing I do is I put any transmog on it for 500 gold, and that stops you from auto salvaging it because you get this little cool purple icon in the top, and I can't now destroy this by accident. Stick it in your stash and I bust this out at level 43, and it obviously helps out tremendously for leveling. Now when you get to level 70 you can do a Greater Rift straight away and get a Bane of the Powerful. This does give you a damage increase once you've killed an elite. You're not going to rank it up to get the secondary activated for a little bit of time, but it is worth doing and it is a little bit of extra juice. But more importantly, now for 267, the Legacy of Dreams has a much higher drop chance than it did beforehand. When I canvassed opinions, it seems very likely you're going to get this either on your second or third Rift. And this is absolutely huge because even at level 10 it offers a pretty big multiplier, around 500%, and it can be mixed with absolutely anything, so you can build off the multipliers that you got whilst leveling. And also it gives you 2% damage reduction, so that's going to be a nice 26%, provided you've got all 13 slots filled with legendaries. So obviously you need to hang on to legendaries that you get around in the mid 60s, because you don't really want to take them off and replace them with yellow 70s, because the Legacy of Dreams only works off legendary items. And also at level 70 you can craft things like the Sage's set, so you could craft one piece of this and that would be guaranteed legendary. You also could go and kill Malthiel at any difficulty at 70 and he'll drop the plans for Reaper's Wraps, that's another guaranteed legendary. And you can just use the Legacy of Dreams to fill yourself out with a nice little build that will help you get your Wrath of the Waste set. Now looking at the Wrath of the Waste set, the 2-piece will give us more damage on Rend and increase its duration to 15 seconds. I'd say a level 10 Legacy of Dreams gem with some multipliers from leveling will be far better than this, so I wouldn't put the 2-piece on. 4-piece, again, we get a 50% damage reduction and triple Rend damage. I still think a Legacy of Dreams will be better than this, plus you could rank your gem up maybe to rank 15, 20 or whatever. And obviously the 6-piece I would then swap over to the Wrath of the Waste, because whirlwind damage 10,000% and Rend damage 10,000% is obviously way better than a low level Legacy of Dreams. Now really guys, the game changer is going to be an Ambo's Pride. What this does is when you attack with Whirlwind you also apply Rend, and you condense the damage to Rend down to 1 second. So that's a pretty big multiplier, and upon finding it I would swap over to Wrath of the Waste, because if you think about it, whenever you Whirlwind you're going to automatically apply Rend. It's got a 15-second duration increase, you're going to condense that down to 1 second. It's an absolutely huge damage spike. So at 70 we're going to be putting all of our Death's Breaths into getting an Ambo's Pride, so we're back onto upgrading one-handed mighty weapons. When you're doing this you might find the Bulkathos blades, because one-handed mighty weapons don't have tons of options, and these are really nice for Whirlwind because it gives you automatic fury generation, move speed and attack speed. Now just as an aside guys, until you find the Bulkathos blades you're going to be quite thirsty on resource, so you're going to want to take Wind Shear on Whirlwind, as this will gain fury for every enemy struck, and if you're still struggling you can put points into max fury as you gain Paragon, and also you've got the Unforgiving passive that will generate fury for you, and Animosity that will give you a general fury boost. So there's various ways that you can get as much fury as possible to Whirlwind as much as you need, so obviously play that by ear. So we've covered DBs, which we're going to be using for Ambo's Pride. So what do we do with our shards at level 70? Well, I'd recommend re-rolling a level 1 barb, so go quit the game, start a new character at level 1 and just plonk them in town. And you can then use the limited RNG pool to roll for rings. That'll give you a Band of Might because there's only 2 rings in the loot pool. It's very easy to get on a level 1 character. This will give you an 80% damage reduction for 8 seconds, and that's just absolutely huge toughness, and you won't have any more toughness problems. And again at level 1 you can pick yourself up a gold wrap pretty easily. That can go in the cube once you've found a Boon of the Hoarder. So after getting Ambo's Pride and Band of Might, I probably would be looking to get the Lamentation belt. Now this will have an extra 150% multiplier on it in 267A, so I would go to spend DBs on it once I've got Ambo's Pride, and blood shards on it once I've got a Band of Might. It's going to give us a huge modifier to Rend, but obviously that's only worthwhile once we do have the Ambos. So after that guys, we're going to be aiming for the T16 build that you can see on screen, so I'll flash the skills up now for you to have a little look at. But I have done a full guide on it, so I'll link that in the description as well. Now for jewellery wise, best in slot amulet is going to be a Flavour of Time, but you can obviously go and craft yourself a Hellfire amulet. Barb's got some really good passives and you're going to have to kill key wardens anyway as part of your season journey. Now for your rings, you're going to want an obsidian ring of the Zodiac to help you cool down, and a convention of elements for extra damage. So once I've got my Lamentation belt, I'd be upgrading rings in the cube, and instead of the convention you might hit a Stone of Jordan that will give you a damage boost. You just want to make sure it's got physical damage on there because we're going for a Rend based build. Or you could also pick up a Broken Promises, which would give you more critical hits, so there's plenty of damaging rings you can get. Now obviously the Zodiac is a specific ring to hit and it is a bit of a pain. It's by no means essential, but it does help us out a bunch. But what you can do to get some more cooldown is to upgrade a legendary two-handed axe. There's only 4 of these in the pool and you're looking for a Messerschmitt's Reaver, and this will reduce a cooldown at random by 1 second whenever you kill something, so it is very handy. So obviously you take your Ambo's Pride on your character, you could put this in the cube and that would be a workaround for cooldown. Similarly for a Furnace, you can get some extra damage against elites, so again Ambo's Pride on the character, Furnace in the cube, and this is obviously only if you don't find the Bulkathos blades pretty quickly. Next we're looking to pick up braces, so shards can go on these. So Mortic's Brace is great because it will give you every rune on Wrath of the Berserker. Again, the Zodiac or the Reaver will help you out with cooldown and get Wrath of the Berserker up pretty much permanently. And always a pair of Nemesis Braces is going to be very handy for speed rifting and for getting keys and stuff like that. And then the last item that I can pick up with shards pretty easily that helps Whirlwind out a ton is going to be the Mantle of Channeling. This is just extra damage and extra toughness whilst we spin to win. Now one thing you don't need guys is a Skull Grasp. This will buff Whirlwind damage, but all of our damage is coming from Rend. Now obviously if you find this before an Ambo's Pride, if you just get lucky and it drops, by all means stick it on your character, use it with your 6-piece, but when you do go for Ambo's Pride, take this off because it's not going to do anything for you. So that was quite a bit of information, so we'll just go through it again in a really concise way. DBs go on Ambo's Pride number 1, then Lamentation Belt number 2, upgrading your rings for number 3, possibly filling out a Reaver or Furnace for number 4, and then after that I'd probably be looking for amulets, so that's my order for the DBs. So as for shards, I would go number 1 Band of Might on a level 1 barb, number 2 we're going to find the Lamentation Belt, number 3 we can put a gold wrap in the cube, so again level 1 barb item, number 4 we're going to go braces looking for Mortic's Brace and Nemesis, and then 5 I'd start spending them on rings just to fill out my Zodiac and my convention if I could. And once I was happy with my rings, I then move on to a Mantle of Channeling just so that I can do some GR speeds. So that's the T16 version filled out. Once we get the Mantle of Channeling, we also move on to the GR speed version. Now this was doing 90s in 2.5 minutes on PTR with only 800 Paragon. Now obviously the multiplier on PTR was 200%, not 150, so it's not going to hit quite that hard, but it will still be really good and you will fly past 100 pretty quick. So I will link my GR90 2-minute speed guide. And also if you do want to check out a push variation and a video on pushing, again I'll link that in the description and that will give you some more stuff to go on. But when you're pushing, you're probably going to want to pick up the Crimson set, so that's going to require bounties and finding a Rogue, so obviously it does take a little bit of time to set up. But that's it guys, I hope you found it useful. I hope we covered enough items, skills to make this worth your while. If you did enjoy the video, if you could leave me a thumbs up, that would be absolutely brilliant. I'll catch you soon for some more Season 19 content. Peace.